Hi and good evening. My name is Albert and thank you for watching the channel. This is Vlogs About Nothing. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join me. You feel me? To all the new subscribers and the people watching. Again, seriously, it's freaking awesome. We talk about nothing here all the time. It's the theme of my life. I don't know if that might be more true than it actually is a joke. You know what I mean? But no, seriously, I'd have it no other way. Because I guess that isn't a joke and it is real, and I like doing nothing. So, at any rate, I do want to talk tonight about addiction. And I know that I brought it up on the channel before. I know that I've even snuck in a couple of times my own anecdotal sort of stories about my experiences with different kinds of addiction on a personal level, right? I mean, I think we can all safely say that we're addicted to something, right? It could be the phone in our hands or on the bedside, it could be the coffee in our mug. It could be a number of different things, right? But addiction is addiction. And sometimes addiction is other things. You feel me? And that's what I want to talk about because you're looking at somebody who has now been sober for 273 days. It's written on my calendar here, like literally just inches behind me. Now, my addiction was with cocaine, and yeah, it was a time in my life that is quite unremarkable, honestly. It was a time that I chose to make poor decisions, and as an accountable person that has never had any kind of substance abuse problem in the past, I don't even drink alcohol, but I did consciously decide to make different decisions last year, beginning on January 1st and ending in the middle of July of last year. And so, an accountable adult who is more than willing to discuss difficult topics because I have made mistakes, and I think it's important to talk about our mistakes. Like, instead of, maybe somebody else finding out about it and then mentioning it, or just, safest bet is because I want to be my most authentic and genuine self that I can be. That is, again, if anything, a theme on the channel other than nothing is finding out that I truly try to represent my way in a manner of which I conduct on the daily. You feel me? Like the things that I say, the thoughts that I convey or that I attempt to, in terms of extemporaneously espousing, my opinions on things. That's how I feel, and again, it's just, I think that addiction is important to talk about. I know that as a middle-aged millennial man, I've also been brought up by like some hardcore old school men who, don't even want to talk about feelings, much less like problems socially and or personally dealing with things like addiction, especially because a lot of us fail to recognize we have addictive behaviors, I mean, if you consume one beer a night, you're arguably an alcoholic in that regard, in a scientific definition of the word because of the long-term consumption of stuff. So you could probably make a conclusion then that maybe there are lots of functioning people who are addicted to things that make their day, passable or however it is. We're not here to discuss the reasons of why, people do the things that they do, right? We're just simply talking about in general and in specific my own experience with addiction and how I was definitely able to overcome that addiction. Again, it's been something that, as a person who's never had a substance abuse problem before or has even tried like any type of weird drug, I mean, I'm pretty vocal about supporting marijuana and I've been smoking weed since I was 10 years old. You know, this is also true. I love marijuana, and I always will. I always will, because it's provided such a net positive for me in my life, both socially, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally. The pros of marijuana have just, you know, been quite remarkable, honestly. But that's, again, a different kind of addiction, right? The addiction to wanting to feel my best self and wanting to deal with the chronic pain in my face that is a result of the 9 titanium alloy metal plates in it. You know what I mean? I mean, so chronic pain is also obviously the leading reason now as an adult that I choose to consume marijuana on the scale that I do, you know? And that's the truth. And so I'm happy that it's been 273 days since I've spent $40 to $60 on that particular drug, you know, because it cost my household, it cost my relationships with people close to me in life more than just their time, energy, and money. It cost everybody all of those things, plus the rebuild and sort of the rehabilitation of getting me back to a point where I'm not falling out of trees and breaking my ankle. You know what I mean? Because again, last year got pretty dark. And while I'm absolutely willing to accept all of my actions, you know, and the things that I did and stuff like that, I'm also absolutely willing to roast myself for it because I got to joke about it. I got to laugh about it, you know, and it definitely is something that can never happen again. You know, last year was tough again. It wasn't just the addiction that I had to overcome or the breaking of a limb or, you know, the extreme impact that it had on my closest relationships. It was also a year that I lost my grandma. It was a tough year, you know. So yeah, last year was rough. You guys have heard me say this before, obviously on the program, but I don't think I've talked about addiction in a way that we just have talked about it. So let me say a few things before the video ends. If you're somebody that's suffering from an addiction, then I'm going to put a link in the description below for a hotline to reach out to, you feel me? And that goes to any sort of mental illness. If it's an addiction that you're trying to overcome, or if it's suicidal thoughts, or if you're just sad or depressed about, you know, things in your life, there are resources, and I highly encourage people to utilize these resources. They're not always going to be the streamlined kind of 7-Eleven experience that, you know, we are akin to in our society as it pertains to that like instant gratification, you feel me? But through some research and a little bit of support, if you can find it in your own life, in your own personal circle, you'll be able to get going on your step towards recovery. And there shouldn't be anybody who should be ashamed of having an addiction. There shouldn't be anybody who should be ashamed of having suicidal thoughts. You know, these are things that are unfortunately a part of the human experience, and it's important that we discuss them. So, again, links in the description below, but that's real talk, and that doesn't make you any less of a person. And this is coming from somebody who experienced just almost an entire year of throwing my life down the toilet, down the drain, you know, whatever analogy you want to use, because that's definitely, as a recovering addict, something that I feel true to my heart, you know? And so without the support that I've had in my own individual life and the investment in my rehabilitation and my recovery, I would simply not be here standing in front of my phone, in front of this camera, speaking to y'all. You feel me? That's so yes, I value my friends, I value my family, I value my life, because these people and these groups, they've done nothing but continue to support me and help me even when I've not made the best decisions. And so let's wrap up this video, but again, real talk, suffering from an addiction, suicidal behavior, any type of mental health ailment you may think you're suffering from, seek out resources, seek out help, but most importantly, talk about it first. You can talk to yourself about it in front of the mirror in your bathroom. It doesn't matter, but talk about it. Get the conversation going, and then figure out what's going to happen from there. Until then, I appreciate y'all, and I hope you guys have a great night. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Bye.